man's bidding. But I want you to go back to the world that I've brought you from. And I want you to see what the world's all about. And go to these people and these groups that I have showed you. Stay away from them people over there because they are evil. They will not understand and they will make an attempt to kill you. I will send my guardian angels to watch over you for the rest of your time down there. But you remember something, son, that my love is yours. My blood is your blood. For you are my son, and there is many like you. You have sisters also that will be down there with you. For these days are coming that I am going to come back. After all, I told them I was coming back. Did they listen then? They may not listen now. But I am coming back, and I'm not going to be very happy. You must prepare the ones that I have guided you to for my return. But remember, son, and he did this with a little kind of a sheepish smile. I never want you to indulge into unions of marriage. Do not get married, and most of all, do not have children. And he would smile at me. He said, come, for time now, for you to return. I don't know how long I'd been there. I was told when they found me, 11 days. But it seemed like only 11 minutes to me. And my father, Afra Anu, Jabba, when you get hugged by your father, you get hugged by the man that brought you into this world thousands of years ago, and this is only a return trip of many from the past. And he tells you that not only he loves you, but his blood flows inside your veins. You are a product of his seed, for he brought you into this world. And he loves you. Oh my God. That 4-letter word is the most greatest word that a person can ever say. But not only do you say it, but you feel it. You literally feel it. It resonates from you. Something that's rarely ever felt in this world today. But with the time I was on that craft, to hear them four letters, and not only to hear them, but to actually be engulfed by it, and feel it, and to look into his eyes, and see the sincerity. My Father. He knew exactly what I was going to do when I come back to earth. He knew exactly what. That boy going to get married. That boy going to have kids. And I'm going to have to spank his ass. No, he knew exactly what I was going to do. Because actually, he was telling me, I want you to do my bidding. Do my truths. You are my son. Tell the people, I am coming back. I am going to be back on earth soon. You are my messenger. And there will be, you will have brothers and sisters that you will align with very soon. Very soon. And I will send guardian angels to watch over you as I have them. Prepare. And then when I finally met the twins, Michael told me right off the bat, you know you're the third messenger. And you're the final messenger. How did you know this? We've known ever since we got here. You got here? Yeah, well, yeah, we knew you was coming. You was going to be the third one born. And I was told I was the third one born. January 8th, 1953. At 2 a.m. in the morning.
So when you came back from this session with Giles, did you watch the tape?
I watched it. Now, the tape, there was a lot of things that went on within them putting me back together. When they recovered me out of that tree, I was dead. I was physically dead. I ceased no more. They took my body and they took my soul. And I went there. And they restructured me, gave me a new vessel, as if nothing had happened. They put me in what was called the liquid light, Chakiyamakata, which means the light of life. And I have some of that in my possession today. You have never seen it. Have you seen it?
No.
Well, I might show you some of it. It glows in the dark. I have been instructed only to show it to those who are worthy, because it is the element of eternity. I guess it was the DeSoto's fountain of youth. Who knows? But many sessions, regressions. Giles would regress me, and we would go back, try to relive what happened in Vietnam. And every one of them was identical. I never deviated once on the story. I never deviated on what I was experiencing. They were testing me because now I'm saying, yeah, I've got some different internal organs. Yeah, it looks human, but my heart's a little bit different. My lung structure's a little bit different. My digestive tract's a little bit different. Oh my God, you see, it's brainwaves. And at times, Giles would take me so deep into the regressions that my heart was beating one beat about every 60 seconds. There was times that my eyes were open, but they were glossy. You couldn't see my irises. It was like, holy cow, did you see this? Look at him. Look at these brain waves. When we ask him a question, the brain waves, they light up. And look, his heartbeat, it's not even beating. But we've got a pulse. How have we got a pulse and the heart's not beating? Look at this. The camera's showing there's a glow around him. His heart's not beating, but we got a pulse. And his brain is showing all kind of activity. And there's a glow around him. What in the hell are we dealing with here? The others do the same thing. Yeah, but not like this. Yeah, it is. See, they were comparing these regressions with the others. There was hours and hours and hours of film footage done on me. So the big thing was, we need to show some of this to the President of the United States. He is wanting to know. He is not demanding, but he is. Okay. So they showed some film footage to Ronald Reagan, Vice President Bush.
You're talking about senior.
Yeah. Okay. When can we meet these individuals? Because in '83 we got invited to the White House and we met President Reagan, all 33 of us. And we met Nancy Reagan. We were there for about an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, and then we left and went back to 1986. There would be 7 of us that goes to Camp David and meet with President Reagan firsthand. Because during these sessions, we were giving things and events that was going to happen in the future. And these things that we were talking about, and when I say we, the small group that was being regressed, we were naming times, dates, locations, names, people. The government was really getting scared. So within these time frames, it seemed like between myself, Michael, and Daniel, and as we were explaining these things, the powers to be, as I said, were getting scared. They really got scared is when Michael came out and said, under regression, for you have been warned by my brother Abil, for we are the archangels, and we're not here just because we're on vacation. Somewhere to that fact. Michael was the type of, he liked to joke, but his jokes were very serious. And they made note of this. Bring in some more psychiatrists. I think we got a basket of cases here. And the psychiatrists, they listened on some of the regressions. I think we are dealing with the real thing. How do you know? The bishop sat in on one with Michael. He sat on another with Daniel. He hasn't sat in with Eddie. He says this is all documented within the text the Vatican has in their possession. Well, who's this Abil? It's him. And the Bishop Coloni has stated that the third one is the one we need to fear the most. Boy, did they stick a needle in my balloon. Because then Giles would start asking me, Eddie, have you ever heard of the name Abil? I think I've heard it. Don't know where. How about Abaddon? Have you ever heard of the word Abaddon? Yeah. He's the angel of death. Okay. Eddie, if I asked you a question, and I'm kind of mimicking the way Giles talked, asked you a question, would you be 100% honest with me? And don't worry about the rest of these people. This is between you and me. And I said, Giles, you're my earth father. Well, I thank you for that. The question is, Eddie, under your regressions and your the twins have stated that your name is Abil, and you just told me you've heard that name once or twice before. And you said Abaddon is the angel of death. Do you believe that your Abaddon, which is a terminology or a metaphor for the angel of death, for it's Abil, as we've understand, is the possessor of God's truth. Do you believe you could be that person? And when Giles asked me that question, did you hear it? Did you hear it? Oh my God. Maybe we not, but shouldn't be talking much longer about this subject. But I told Giles, I said, I am who I am. And my father is Afra Anujabah. And I am Abil, his son. And yes, I remember Egypt very well. Then people got exactly what they were told was going to happen. And they doubted. They found a hard lesson. I'm bringing a message, Giles. I'm not like who I was thousands of years ago. But then again, in a moment's notice, I could be. And you are my earth father, Giles. I will never see anything happen to you. But there's people within this agency that are stepping back because Now the truth is being told. Where shall we go next, Giles? Where shall you and I go next? That is the question that you and I should be pondering. And on that moment, Giles says, let me think about that, Eddie. And at this time, during this time frame, I had had my name legally changed. I went from Coleman to a Page. My wife knew I was Eddie. She started calling me Eddie. I wanted my daughter to know not only was I'm her daddy, her father, but her father's name was Eddie. But there would be a time that I would tell my daughter that Daddy is a very good man and he will protect you and love you, just like my father does. But there was a dark side to us also, a very dark side between me and my brothers and sisters. Was it a nasty feeling toward humanity? Not all humanity, just the ones who are purposely going to attempt to destroy humanity. This is why our Father brought us here. For these days that we are seeing right now, physically seeing. I don't have wings, per se, but when the time comes, I'm sure I will have wings, just like Michael and Daniel and Victoria, all of us. Will we be able to fly like the birds? I would say yes. Will we strike out at the ones we don't like? No. The ones that we don't like has already condemned their own selves. Oh, it's a long story. And the story is about to come to its final climax. But we'll talk about that.
So can you tell me what you're holding in your hand?
Yeah. I want you to see the dates here. Now, I'm not going to read the whole letter, but I'm going to hit some places. See the date right there? Can you see that, Margaret?
Bring it closer. So it's May 23rd, 1932.
Yeah, okay. 1932. Now, this came from a Catholic cardinal, Marcello Bergandi. I probably just mutilated his name. But anyway, he was talking about they knew where the first two was going to arrive, and it would be placed at near 1947. The twin boys, the words of Tuacania, Siam Avidisco, which was Latin for the Meadow of Truth. It has to be in America, New Jersey. And they shall be located and retrieved. It is Marcello, well, whoever Marcello is, and where it says, but what and where the third child will appear is even a greater secret, and this male child is secretly hidden. It is the one we shall worry the most, if it is known. Reply as soon as you can. We need your direction here. That's the letter. And I don't take this letter out because it's old. The paper is very brittle. But let's go right here. July 30th, 1947. Can you see that, Margaret?
Bring it closer. Yeah.
All right. And this was from Senior Marcel Bergadani, the same one that was talking. Well, this one here was named by Revelia, Prior CR. And it says, with the events of this month in America, the two boys have been recovered in New Jersey. Well, they're talking about the twins. And they are safe at this moment. Yet the third child shall come, as it is told. He is the one who shall hold the key to all this madness. And the dates could be simply off by a few months, but by that it will be place him in the year of Nisan, January 53 or 54. But once he is found, we must move fastly. Take the child quickly and report to Rosselli. The blood should not be destroyed. We shall use it to our advantage. And the money has been sent. There it is right there. The money has been sent. So, in 1986, Camp David, myself, the twins, and 4 others would sit before President Reagan, the Vice President Bush, William Casper Weinberger, 4 of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and several other political figures within the Reagan administration. Reagan had been briefed about us over the last 2 years. And as I told you, we met President Reagan, all of us, in 1983 at the White House. Met Nancy. We were there for about an hour and 10, 15 minutes. And he was just elated that we were all there. He got to see us. And now there's 7 of us that's brought there. Specific 7.
And did they tell you why you were going?
Well, President Reagan wanted to see us. Us. And when I say us, our names were specifically mentioned. Just because Reagan and the Vice President was being shown some of the regression film footage by President Ford, the people within Project Aquarius and the CIA. Well, when we got there, I mean, this was under strict security. I mean, I like to say the security was so strict, even air had to have a security clearance. When President Reagan walked into the big room there at the house there at Camp David, there's a big room. It's called a Situation Room there. Only about 15, maybe 20 people in this room altogether. It was never recorded. It was never filmed because of security. They did bring in an FBI stenographer who held a high security clearance to do the typing. Reagan had a file about this stick, and he was looking at it, and he was looking at us, and he says, Michael. And Michael was at the end looking at him, and Michael was doing this. Michael's a lot of times likes to do this. He says, is it true what I have been told about all of you guys? Michael's sitting there, and Michael about that time went, sure is. Reagan says, and you're the twin brother, you're Daniel. And he opens up and he looks at him and says, you're Ural? And Daniel says, I sure am. And then Reagan opened up the file again. I mean, he didn't actually close it. He had it open. He kind of like that was looking to ask a question. And then he opened up and he was looking and he says, he pointed at me and he says, and you're Abaddon? And Reagan's eyes was kind of like, and the people sitting in the chair, they were all started looking at me, and Michael kind of looked over at me because I was sitting right here next to Michael. And I had my arms kind of crossed like this, and I said, sir, I like to be called Abil. And Reagan says, Abil. The possessor of God's truth. That's what it means. Am I correct? And again, my arms were crossed, and I was looking at him, and I said, yes, sir. He says, what should we worry about? I mean, is this really going to happen? He says, you guys are talking about something very destructive is going to happen to America. How can this be? And we told him, the prophecies don't lie. The prophecies are coming. And yes, the greatest country the world has ever known shall fall. It shall crumble. The world shall watch her burn because of the evil and the wickedness that is going to take over this country. You will see it. And President Reagan had trouble at that time of accepting this. And we had told him, you will see an evil come from the heavens. And man will have one choice and one choice only. He has to become one with us or perish.
Now, when you say man has to become one with us, who's us?
God's children and God's creation.
Okay.
Because there's going to be an evil so fierce here that he is destined to try to finish what he's tried to do 50, 75,000 years ago. The war that came out of the heavens.
Is going to happen.
Yes. And we would see elements of it starting, within 20 years. Reagan had trouble with this. And some of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, they were standing there, they were listening intently. Would we give any military plans to them that they could take back to the other military advisors and start planning? We need to put warships here, troops there, airplanes here. No. It ain't going to matter what you got, ships, planes, or what. This evil will only be conquered by us. And Reagan asked us, he says, I'm to understand that you guys are the archangels. And Michael, again, twiddling his thumbs, he says, we don't have wings as the mythology likes to portray us, but when the time comes, we will have wings. And he smiled. He says, Mr. President, you should be thankful that we're here on your side, because the ones that are not are going to find a very hard lesson. And our Father is coming here. And Reagan understood this. Reagan was, I wouldn't say Reagan was a very religious man. He was more of a spiritual man than anything. And he says, well, I know what some of the prophecies talk about the second coming, but we thought that was Jesus. Well, who do you think Jesus is? Well, I thought Jesus was the Son of God. He is. And who do you think we are? And about that time, Reagan looked and he says, he opened up to a second and it says you guys are the sons of God too. And the daughters of God. Well, it went back to base one. We are who we are. You can either accept it and prepare with us, or you can